Hey y'all, thanks for watching. This is a quick video to talk about the Tippmann Boss hand stitcher. I do have a problem with it. I'm going to show you what the problem is, and I'm going to attempt to fix it on the video itself. Because I don't have a whole lot of video editing software, this is pretty much the view you're going to get the entire time. I am looking at the camera, but you can't see me looking at the camera, and that's okay. So we'll start off real quick and show you what the problem is that I'm having on this thing. See if I can not cut myself. This isn't the normal area that I have it, so right now I just have it gripped on here. Let's make a quick line for stitching so y'all can see what it's doing on this line, and then we'll see if we can fix it with the next one. I do love this machine. I haven't used it in a little while, so I'm doing this so I can verify what it was that was wrong. I do have the part for it, so I'll show you what it's doing there. So if you look, my presser foot is not lifting at all. And that obviously is not a good thing. You want the presser foot to lift like this and come through, set back down, and go. But with the presser foot not lifting, obviously that's not a good thing. And I haven't used it in a couple shots a little while, so some of the stitching's not stitching correctly. Again, the Tippmann Boss is a machine that is a great machine, but it does need some technique and finesse to keep it going and making it the way you want it. You know, especially with watching it just snap one of my cables, one of my lines. Obviously something is wrong. My tension looks good. I'm looking to see the bottom here. I'm stitching through a close to 10-ounce piece. So I don't know why I just cut that line, but we'll investigate that also. I do have quite a bit of tension. Well, there's the problem. I don't know if you can see up here, but the line actually got caught under my spool. Sometimes when that happens, with all the shaking around that it does, it will start to unspool. This will start to shake. It'll unspool it more, and then it'll get caught underneath. So that's something that you got to keep an eye out for. I've gone through, before knowing the issue, I've gone through and taped some blue tape around it so it wouldn't fall underneath there. That's not the issue right now. The issue is the fact that it does not, the presser foot does not pick up. Now what I have noticed is that this piece back here, I don't know which side is going to be best for me to show. So right in here, there's a piece, this piece right here, that's not catching as it comes down. That's supposed to catch and pick it up, and it's just not catching the way it should. So we have a new one of these from the company. I called Tippmann Boss, told them what the problem was, told them what I thought the solution was, and here's the parts and problems. So I do have a brand new piece to go in. This one goes up on top. And then this piece here goes in the bottom. So we're going to attempt to replace this entire piece with that. So let's get working on it. I'll slide back over here. We're going to take off this panel here. It's important to always check and see when you first get a machine. Some of these screws may be loose, some of these screws may be loose, so you just got to make sure that all the screws that you want and need are, just go through everything. They do have a quality control, but sometimes their quality control can miss certain things. And I haven't wanted to touch this project for a little while because I don't like getting grease on my hands and then go back in and work more stuff, but I got some projects coming up that I need this to be in good working order, so we're going to take the time and get my hands a little bit dirty and fix this. I'd love for there to be music in the background, but there's so many of the royalty issues that I have something playing in the background, but I don't know what. I don't even know if it's that loud. So once you take this off, just watch all through here is all covered in grease, and you will get your hands dirty and stuff. So the next piece that's got to come out, and I have not done any of this yet. I haven't even looked to see how to do this, so you're watching with me. So we need to take this next piece out, and that's got nice clips there. Which I have a feeling are going to be, since I don't have a snap ring pliers, we're going to attempt to not make this thing fly away, because they will. Okay, so that's off. I am going to grab something to put this on. I think I have a spare piece of leather that I use for junk around here. So we're just gonna throw this on so I don't have, so I'm not getting my table dirty. Again, you are going to get your hands a little greasy doing this, so just be prepared to not touch anything. And I'm going to take these off and try to lay them out so I know where each one goes and what each part does. At this point, I think I'm ready just to take the springs off. It's maybe easier than it looks. This is a very basic and an easy machine to work on. If you have any questions, feel free to ask. I do love my Tippmann Boss. Yes, you can see another sewing machine in the background, but I do love my Tippmann Boss. So I don't have a problem answering any questions and helping out whatever I can. Looks like that one's under an Allen. I may have to pause the video and go find a Allen for that one. So that's going to run inside there. Instead of taking the whole thing apart, I'm going to just try to change so that piece can't actually just take apart easily because it actually, and I should have thought of it, there's a hole in it and it has to go around this shaft. So this shaft is going to have to come out for it to work. I'm going to carefully leave this in the up position to see if I can just pull this shaft out. Okay, so I'm going to loosen this one out. Again, you don't want to touch the leather stuff because leather and grease and stains don't always work well together. So I'm going to get that to almost off, and I'm going to relieve some of the pressure on it so I don't mess up any of the screws. And I'll just drop that out there. Set this one with this presser foot so I know which one goes where and that it's out of the way slightly. Drop this one down. So you can see there is a little bit of wear, a little bit of what I see here is a little bit of a smoothness on the corner, and that's what actually makes it catch. Making sure I take it off the correct side, and I'm going to put the new one in on the correct side. So here's the new one. Some things I see about the old one and the new one. The older one had an older style machining where they actually drilled the corners. I don't know if you can see it. And the new one actually has perfectly cut out. So this one's probably probably water jet, and this one was CNC'd. But that doesn't matter. Let's see. It should be the same size. That does matter. Okay, inside diameter is the same size. It came out like this, so we're going to put it right back in. It's been recommended that you change out both pieces at the same time. We're just going to see how this one piece does to see if I can save a little bit of can't be that hard to take that spring off, so we're going to take the springs off. Again, being a contortionist for the video itself, normally these things would probably be easier if I wasn't trying to video it. Okay, that one's off. Now this one can get in my hand. I don't want to disform any of this while I'm doing it. Okay, old one is off. New one goes on a whole lot easier. Looks like they have the holes a little bit. The shaft there's no end on the shaft for this one, so it goes on a little bit easier. And this one goes on first, then this one. So those two parts are replaced. We'll put the wheel back on. There's no clocking in this, so it can go on pretty much in any direction there. And then we'll put the snap ring back in. Again, if you had snap ring pliers, it makes this job a whole lot easier, but I did just put it on with my fingers. So right now we have replaced this back bar. You can run the machine through, but you gotta be careful that this, the bar with the needle on it, stays out of the way, so that way it doesn't fall out, because it will fall out of its position, and the presser foot. So it's smarter to run everything in, but I'm going to keep my hand in here and just see. It looks right now like it has fixed the problem, but I also don't have the presser foot in. So let's put everything back together and see if we fixed the problem. And again, the problem was the presser foot was not lifting. So I do love this machine. It is very finicky at times. Most of the times that I've found that it was screwing up, it turned out to be my fault. You know, where you have a love-hate relationship. You love it, you hate it. There was times I'd love to throw it across the floor, and my family knew. But then I'd realize it was something that I did wrong, or I didn't set the tension correctly, or I didn't run the thread through the correct way. So there's a number of different things that I've done wrong to make it messed up. I'll probably go through and change out the needle here while I'm doing all the maintenance on it. I've had this for probably close to 3 years now, 2.5 years at least, and I don't think I've done any. I haven't done anything to lube it up or anything like that. So, you know, it's a pretty carefree machine once you get it set and get the finicky parts out of it. But until you get the finicky parts out, and until you know how to set it all up and make it work for you, you'll see them for sale all the time on Facebook, different sell pages. People will talk about how they're great for door stops. I actually really do enjoy my machine. I just started doing too much that I needed to run an electric machine. Bring this to shows. It gets people's attention, the clicking and the clunking and the clanking of when you're just making any type of project at a show. I bring scraps and I just run some scraps through it and see how it works. We're going to run another line test and see if it fixed the problem, and then we'll fix the problem with some of the tension and the fact that the string just snapped on me. It is pretty dusty because it's been sitting on the floor underneath my machine, because I just don't use this machine as much as I used to. Still a great machine though. Just about done here. See it, get a quick test, and then I'll address the. I'll figure out why it's doing that tension cutting, and maybe do another video on that if you guys want me to. I'm just going to follow the line with the outside of my foot here. Yep, the pressure foot's already off, so it looks good already. I know every time I do that the camera shakes, so I'm sorry. I'm going to actually change thread. I'm not a fan of this white thread. I think I've gotten more than one thread that was an issue, but let me do a couple more here. Everything looks like it's working correctly. The stitching is good. The tension seems to be pretty good. I'm watching here to make sure everything's set in the correct way. Drops down without a problem. Still some tension on that. I did have to change the tension on my bobbin, but that's not the issue here. So right now it looks like it's picking up the foot, and that's it. So that's how you change out the this part here. I wish I knew what it was, but this is how to fix the presser foot not lifting during some jobs. So you can see that it's lifting up without me pulling the lever up higher. So, alright, thanks for watching. Any questions, feel free to comment below and subscribe to my channel.